Khan, shalom, family. It's your brother Nasi, right?
Khan, it's Israel too.
Khan, we coming to you live, man, on another beautiful Friday, man. About to get it in, finish up the lesson that we was doing last, last Wednesday. So like
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Why you say last Wednesday?
Well, this
it was
okay. So like this previous Wednesday class, right? Dealing with patience, man, and believing in the Most High, man. The brother was bringing it out to break down eloquently, so I'm going to be in assistance, reading. And we pray that you get edified through the Spirit on this. But first and foremost, we want to give all praise and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. We want to do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, right? Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, right? We understand that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and the Native American Indians of Negro descent are the Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of, right? And it's our heart's desire that all Israel shall be saved and come out of the ways of the world and come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Most High God has given to Israel, right? So with that being said, if you're new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell when you come in the room. Throw some sevens in the chat. All right, let us know that you're in the building with us. We're gonna let the room build up for a few minutes, and then we're gonna kick this thing off through the Spirit. But it's about patience and believing in the Most High, right? Patience is key. It's essential to this walk, an everyday basis, in every aspect, in every walk of life, right? You got something up?
Nope. Look at this.
I got a few of them. What's that? Colossians 4 and 6.
Colossians 4 and 6. But
right. Don't let the room build up. Hey.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. You're trying to highlight.
You highlight it, underline it, take a picture.
Walking wisdom towards them that are without.
To answer every man. Right, man. So without further ado, man, we only got a few more precepts that was wrapped up on this class. So we're not going to keep everybody in suspense. We want to make sure we go ahead and get this thing off and finish up the understanding behind it, right? So let's go ahead and kick it off, man. What you got?
First precept, we're going to be in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 8.
Ecclesiastes 7 and what?
7 and 8.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 8. And it reads, Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof.
Okay.
And the patience in spirit.
The what?
And the patient in spirit
is what?
Is better than a proud in spirit.
The patient in spirit is better than the proud man in spirit. You know, elaborate on that?
No, it's rather to be patient. You got to be patient in spirit than when you compare the two. You have some brothers that's just proud and hasty in the spirit, and then you have those who are patient, right? And we always pull that Proverbs 11 and 1, man. You have to have balance in this thing. You have to understand that like we was bringing out in the last class in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, right? It's a season for everything. Right? It's a time to kill. It's a time to throw down. It's a time to gather. It's a time to cast away, etc., etc.
What is that?
Ecclesiastes 3.
No, let not the sun go down on your anger.
That's
it's a Thessalonians. It's a Thessalonians, bro.
No, I just sent it out the other day.
You did? It's not Thessalonians? Come. Reverse die, because it's kind of funny.
Be not hasty in thy spirit to be angry.
To be what?
To be angry.
For what?
For anger rested in the bosom of fools.
And the person that's, hasty in spirit, to be angry, that proud spirit, the Most High said that rested in the bosom of a fool. And the Most High, he hates a proud spirit. Let me get that.
These 7 things?
Yeah, these 7 things, that's right.
No, I got that Ephesians 4 and 26. That's what it is.
Okay, bring it up.
Ephesians 4 and 26. It says, be angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. It's a lot of times, man, when you've been vexed, You're being tried through the fire, through the of adversity, if you will. And there's going to be a lot of pitfalls, a lot of trials and tribulations that come your way. They're going to cause you to be riled up in the spirit. And sometimes it might even cause you to be in the flesh.
Yeah.
But the Most High is telling you, hey, you have to understand that it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset.
Yeah.
But don't allow it to create a malice or ill will, because now you're going to go into sin. And with that being said, we say all the time, right? If somebody has transgressed you, as it says in Galatians 6, ye which are spiritual, you got to restore them in a spirit of meekness.
Yeah.
But how you restore them, you got to be patient with them.
Right? And you gotta have the right people around you, because bruh, like we all fall victim to it. Like, you might be in the flesh, but bruh, if all y'all in the flesh, bruh, it's just not gonna work out, bruh. You gotta, it's kind of like, it's like that battle, the flesh against the spirit. But you gotta, sometimes, bruh, you gotta pop back into the spirit, because when you're in the spirit, you don't sin. That's right. But when you're in the flesh, we know what's gonna happen. Let me get this precept right here. It's Proverbs 6 and 16. It says, these 6 things doth the Lord hate, and 7 are an abomination unto him. Right. Ecclesiastes 15 and 20. 15 and 20? Nah, I think it's 12 and 6. 8 abominations. Is that right? Yeah, it's that right, 12 or 15. Just want to know. If not, I'll find it. It says, these 7 are an abomination to him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, right? Feet that be swift to run to mischief, and a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among the brethren. Right. Among who? Among the brethren. Right. You got to really be patient. We was talking to some elders the other day, man, and we lean on our elders, man, because a lot of different obstacles, if you will, a lot of different things that come your way when you're in a position of leadership, when you have to govern yourself a certain way. There's going to be a lot of things that arise amongst the congregation that you will have to delegate, and we lean on the elders because they have a lot of experience and a lot of understanding. And the elder told us, he said, man, welcome to the church, man. It's and also we trying to build anything in the world. Whenever you try to build something, bro, you always gonna have some haters. And it's not gonna happen overnight. More so now that we in the truth. And that's that Sirach 2 and 1. Set your heart right. Yeah. Because like ultimately, man, what it boils down to is that the Lord is just, right? And it says that we all fall short of the Most High's glory. So in saying that, a lot of times when someone has transgressed you or wronged you, we have to stay in the spirit, because now in doing that, you have to allow the Most High to judge or correct or reprove that person, right? Because now if you get out of the spirit, you're not being patient. So now not only does the Lord have to judge that brother, right, now he got to judge you too as well, right? So that's what happens when you lose patience, right? You're not finding it. No. Right. So you got to have patience in this thing, man. Not just patience with other people, but ultimately yourself when you're walking in your daily walk. You got to have patience that you may be complete and wanting nothing. Right. This one. Sorry, 15:13. Got you. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 15 and verse 13. The Most High hated all abomination. He what? Hated all abomination. And the Most High, he said, a proud look, somebody that showed discord among the brethren. He said that's an abomination. He said these 7 things are an abomination, and the Most High, he hate that. And they that fear God love it not. Let's put them on tables. We're gonna get the next precept. It's gonna be 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 14. You could read through 15. Book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5. So like it. Oh, good. And what do you want me to start it out? 1 Thessalonians 5 and 14. Read to 15. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 14.
Now we exhort you, brethren,
We encouraging you, brothers and sisters, do what?
warn them that are unruly.
Do what?
Warn them that are unruly.
Bro, when somebody just can't be ruled, somebody you just can't tell nothing, bro, you got to warn them. And you, bro, if you have a spirit like that around you, bro, it's like a cancer, bro. It's going to spread. Keep going on that.
Right. It says,
I know you're looking for something.
It says, warn them that are unruly. Comfort the feeble-minded. Support the weak.
And what?
Be patient towards all men.
Be what?
Be patient toward all men.
Be patient, bro. Like we keep saying, we said it on the last class plenty of times, and we saying it on this class too, bro. You got to be patient. Bro, that's a godly trait, and that's what you got to do. And the precept we brought in last class, it said the servant, he must be patient.
And the servant is not greater than his master.
He's not.
The Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach definitely had to have patience, when he was here dealing with wicked Eve, man, and wicked Jake every day.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to have that. What does it say? The brother, what does it say? Now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly. Comfort the feeble-minded. Support the weak. Be patient towards all men. And sometimes, man, you feel like some Jakes just don't deserve the grace and the mercy of the Most High God. But did you deserve it? Right? We was off in the world. Did we deserve it? Sometimes we don't, man. A lot of times we don't. We could look back in the ways of the, and we say it all the time. We done some things that was punishable upon death, man. Right? I got a precept. Because it's talking about warning, right? But it's a different kind of ways you can warn. You can warn it. You can blow the trumpet, or you can blow the trumpet. You know what I'm saying?
You can blow the whistle, or you can blow the trumpet.
You can blow the whistle, or you can blow the trumpet. Either way, man, hey, sound that thing off, as it says in what's that? Isaiah 58. And one. Hey, man, you gotta cry loud, man. But it's not. A lot of times, Jake feel. Sometimes we don't. We don't want to be put in a position to make me feel like I want to do something to you. Yeah. Right. Now I feel, but that's why it says in Galatians 5 and 6, 5 and 16, it says, walk ye in the spirit. Yeah. That you might not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Right. This is how you warn it right here. 1 Timothy 5 and 20. Them that sin, rebuke before all.
Do what?
Rebuke before all.
Don't tell them what they're doing wrong.
Rebuke before all.
Only God could judge them.
Rebuke before all.
Okay.
That others also may fear.
Keep going.
I charge thee before the Most High God and the Lord Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, and the elect angels, and that thou observe these things without preferring one before another, doing nothing in partiality. Right? When you come into this truth, man, you're gonna understand that you gotta walk, thus says the Lord. Right? And we're not going leading to the left hand nor to the right, and we're putting our brothers and sisters on notice, but you got to be patient with them. Right? That's what it's about. So that was 1 Thessalonians that you told me.
Read verse 15.
Okay.
5:15. My bad.
5 and 15.
Yeah. Then you'll be done.
See that none render evil for evil unto any man.
They do not what?
These cuts coming out through the spirit, man.
Verse 15, it says, see that none render evil for evil unto any man,
but ever follow that which is good.
Follow that which is good. Okay.
Both among yourselves and to all men. Rejoice evermore. What does it say? Pray without ceasing. Right? In everything, give thanks, for this is the will of the Most High through Yahweh Shah HaMashiach concerning you. Right? Quench not the spirit. Despise not prophesying. Right? Sometimes when you just done, you like, nah, this brother got to get this, man. Hey, don't despise prophesying. Continue to, edify, if you will. You got some? Let me take this call real quick. Go ahead.
I got some. This is Luke chapter 6 and verse 27. But it says, I say unto you which hear, love your enemies and do good to them which hate you, and bless them that curse you, and pray for them which despitefully use you. And bruh, it's plain, but I'm gonna break it down, bruh. Your enemies, people that you in disagreement with, bro. Somebody might be your boy one day, but next week he might be your adversary. And it says you still gotta love him. You still gotta do good to that person that hates you ultimately. And it says, bless them that curse you and pray for them that despitefully use you. And let me jump down to verse 35. It says, but love ye your enemies and do good. And it says, and lend, hoping for nothing again, and your reward shall be great. So when you don't render evil for evil, like it was talking about in 1 Thessalonians 5:15, when you render good for evil, it's basically saying, bro, you're gonna be rewarded. Your reward shall be great for that. Because, bro, that's a hard thing, and that's where patience come in too. Because, bro, somebody could get you there, bro, and it's like, but sometimes you just got to take a step back and you got to dial it down. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to render evil for evil, because the Most High, he might judge you for that. And let me finish this out. And it says, and ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. But it says, be ye therefore merciful, as your Father also is merciful. And bro, all the times where we was transgressing against the Most High, and we didn't even know it, and even when we was going off and we knew exactly what we was doing, when we was falling short, or when we was just doing it because we felt like it, it says, be ye therefore merciful, because your Father also is merciful. Bro, all the times the Most High could have took you out, he could have took all of us out. All the stuff we did, bro, we did so many things worthy of death. We really even shouldn't be here right now. But due to the Most High's mercy and patience with us, bro, we still here and we able to repent. We able to get right before the day we might gotta go out. Let me I'm gonna get the next precept. Next precept is gonna be book of Hebrews, chapter 6 and verse 11. Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 11. Hebrews 6 and 11. It says, and we desire that every one of you do shew the same diligence to the full assurance of hope until the end. And that's where the patience and believing in the Most High comes in, bro. Because being in this truth and the end coming, bro, it's coming quicker than you think, but bro, it's not gonna happen the next day, bro. We're gonna have to go through trials and tribulations to eventually get to that part. I'm gonna read on. And it says that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. Bruh, and being slothful, that's literally the exact opposite of being patient. Being patient. It just says it right here. It says, be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promises. And that's where faith and patience, they go hand in hand. Because if you got faith, bro, you're gonna be patient to the end. And if you patient, automatically you're gonna have faith. Because having that faith, that means you believe. You believe you're gonna be saved in that day. You believe the Most High ain't gonna forsake you. I'm gonna keep reading. Verse 13. It says, for when God made promises to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, he swore by himself. And it says, saying, surely blessing I will bless thee, and multiplying I will multiply thee. And that's the promise the Most High made to Abraham was basically, bro, you see these I believe he said stars of the sand. He said your seed is gonna be basically as the sand of the sea. Bruh, he didn't see it. All them years he lived, them 100 years he lived of his life, bruh, he didn't see it. But he still believed. He literally still believed. And the Lord came to him and his wife was like, bruh, you gonna have a baby. And his wife was like, bruh, how I'm gonna have a baby? I'm like 100 years old, bruh. But he believed that thing, and what happened? He had a kid, and he had Isaac. I'm gonna keep going. It says, saying, verse 15, and it says, and so after he had patiently endured, and he obtained the promises. And that's why we got to be like our father Abraham, because because him being patient and believing in the Most High and being obedient, bruh, his seed obtained the promise. That promise went to Isaac, then it went to Jacob, and out of Jacob came the 12 tribes, which ultimately it came to us. Con. I'm gonna get the next precept. Next precept is gonna be 1 Peter chapter 2 and 20. First Peter chapter 2 and verse 20. Con. For it reads, it says, "For what glory is it if when ye are buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently? But when ye do well and suffer for it, ye take it patiently. This is acceptable with God." And bruh, an example of this scripture is when Yahushua, bruh, before he got put on the cross, we know what happened to him. They was lying against him, beat him up, spit on him. But it says, when ye buffeted for your faults, it says, ye shall take it patiently. But when ye do well and suffer for it, it says, take it patiently, bruh. You just got to take it. You just got to take it. And he said, this is acceptable unto God. Bruh, you're going to be trust and believe that you will be rewarded for your patience and what you're enduring on this side, because your reward is going to be so much greater. It hasn't even entered into the hearts of men. Even what you think or what you hoping you're going to obtain, you're not even scratching the surface, ultimately. And I'm going to keep reading on this. No, that was it. Next precept is going to be Sirach chapter 1 and verse 23. Sirach chapter 1 and verse 23. Might have to. I'll start at verse 20. Sirach chapter 1 and verse 20. It says, "The root of wisdom is the fear of the Lord, and the branches thereof are a long life. The fear of the Lord driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath." Verse 22. "A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction." And that goes into the precepts I brought about before about you being hasty in spirit, hasty to be angry. Because when you furious, bro, when you got that wrath build up and it just come out, like you just don't hold it back, it says a furious man, he can't be justified. Because you having that fury, that might lead you to go off, and you can't be justified. How can the Most High justify somebody that did that? Unless you ask for forgiveness and you repent for it. It says, "For the sway of his fury shall be his destruction." And a lot of people, you hear countless examples of people in their fury doing some off stuff. Next thing you know, 2 minutes later, but they dead.
Bring it out, Doc.
Literally dead. Road rage. Because you was hasty to be angry, what happened to you? Now you dead. Because you was hasty, because the person, the two streets over, 2 streets behind you, or somebody around the corner, he said something about your mama. Now, in your anger, you go over there, you do something to him, and what you catch? You catch a case and you in jail or something. Or you dead. And it says, bruh, fury shall be his destruction. Verse 23, "A patient man will bear for a time, and afterwards joy shall spring up unto him." Right. Elaborate on that.
Hey, man, we can't cap on the Most High God, Yahweh, man. You can't box in, or neither can you put him any time constraint. Neither can you put patience in any time constraint. Right? So what this is saying, you're gonna bear for a time, but us, we really don't know what that time is. Like we were saying in the last class, we don't really know the parameters of what we can endure. The Most High set that thing. Yeah. He's the one who got he the one who's controlling the thermostat on that thing. When we feel like we fed up, he know that we can go a little bit more, man. When we feel like we can't, we've done too much, man. He's the one to dial it back down, right? We gotta stay in the spirit and be patient.
Most High, he know your limits because he created your limits.
Right.
He know exactly what you endure. He can know what you can and cannot take.
Uh-huh.
And it, I was gonna bring out a point, bro. When we out on Saturdays, bro, we all got a certain amount of patience, right?
Right.
Bro, if we was, let's just say we didn't have patience, bro, we'd probably be in jail, bro. Bro, we be wanting to put our hands on Jake, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jake is off. Even not just Jake, bro. Heathens, period.
Okay.
Bro, if we didn't have a certain amount of patience, and bro, there's people that's on the streets that, bro, countless of demons in one day. And that's where patience come in, because if we didn't have a certain amount of patience, it says fury shall be his destruction. And it says how can he be justified? You can't justify him because you put yourself in that situation. If you a servant, you have to be patient. That's it.
And just saying that too. You know how many brothers and sisters that you can turn from the faith by just not having patience?
Yeah.
By not just being able to deal with certain matters and show decorum, show long suffering, right? When they see these things, because these are attributes that people in the world don't have. So this is another thing that by us having patience can be a light to someone who lives in darkness, right? I yield on that.
Let me finish this. Verse 24, it says, he will hide his words for a time, and the lips of many shall declare his wisdom. Right.
So don't get it twisted. This patient man, he's gonna bear for a time. He's gonna have joy. But what was the last part?
It says, and the lips of many shall declare his wisdom.
Right, because a lot of people gonna look at that man like, man, that brother, he went through all of that, man, but that brother still stayed down in this thing. He stayed patient. Right.
Next precept is gonna be Sirach chapter. No. It's gonna be Baruch 4 and 25.
It's the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 25, and it reads thus: my children, suffer patiently.
Do what?
Suffer patiently.
Endure. Keep going.
The wrath that is come upon you.
From who?
From the Most High God.
And, bro, the reason why we in the situation we in is because we sinned. We the ones that broke that covenant, that promise that we made with our Father. So, with that being said, bro, you have to suffer patiently the things that's going to be brought upon you. Okay.
Keep going. Thine enemy hath persecuted thee.
He has what?
Thine enemy hath persecuted thee.
Whether it's the heathen or whether it's one of your brothers. Keep going.
But shortly thou shalt see his destruction.
It says, surely thou shalt see his what?
Shalt thou see his destruction.
And you gotta wait, and you gotta believe. Trust. You gotta trust. That's all there is to it. And keep going.
And shalt tread upon his neck.
Right.
And that's another thing too. Like you have to, when you go, it tells you that in Ecclesiastes, how a judgment is not executed expediently, therefore it's set in the hearts of men to do evil. Right? That's Ecclesiastes, I believe it's 8 and 11.
Yeah.
Right.
8 and 11.
And with saying that, a lot of times the Most High, he's still dealing with us, man. He's still, just because a lot of things, you might know a couple precepts, when the feast days are, things of that nature. He's still dealing with the average worldly Jake, the worldly brother, right? And he's being patient and long suffering with them. So don't be too high-minded, too lofty, too stiff-necked, right? To be able to hearken down, humble down, and to continue to be a servant, right? I yield on that.
I just thought of something. Get 2 Maccabees 6 and 12. I'm gonna try to find it.
This is 2 Mac 6 and 12. 2 Mac 6 and 12, and it reads thus: now I beseech those that read this book, that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. Right? And it'll tell you that too in the book of Baruch. I believe that's 5. Let me grab it.
I'm trying to find something about it.
Right. Baruch 4 and 6. It says, ye were sold unto the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved the Most High to wrath, ye were delivered unto your enemies. That's the same thing that Yahshua was just saying. Right? He said that we provoked the Most High God to anger, right? And again, he didn't write us off, because Paul will tell you that, has God cast away his people? God forbid. Right? So we understand that us going through these things, we're being tried through the furnace of adversity. We're being tried to be able to build up characteristics that's worthy of the kingdom, right? And one of those characteristics, and a part of this breakdown, is dealing with patience. Right? Dealing with patience. So 2 Maccabees 6:12, finishing up. Now beseech you those that read this book, that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation.
Keep going. Read through 14.
For it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long when wicked doers are not suffered any long time,
but what?
But forthwith punished.
But are forthwith punished. Read verse 14.
14. For not as with other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish.
He what?
Forbeareth to punish.
He patiently forbears to punish them. He gonna punish us on the spot because we his kids. We gotta get it right first. Then he just letting it pile up. It's like a damn snowball.
He said he holds back the four winds.
He holding back that anger, bro. And when they get punished, bro, it's best believe it's gonna be 10 times worse. Keep going.
For not as with other nations whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they become
to the what?
To the fullness of their sins.
To the what?
Fullness of their sins.
So dealeth he with us. He said he lets it come. Once it get to that limit, it's wraps for them. It's wraps for them. Get 2 Chronicles chapter 2 and verse 30. No, 2 Chronicles 32 and 31. I might want you to start at somewhere else. Let me see real quick. 2 Chronicles 32.
Right.
Okay, yeah. Read verse 31.
2 Chronicles 32 and 31. Howbeit, in the business of the ambassador of princes of Babylon, who sent unto him to inquire of the wonder that was done in the land.
What God do?
God left him
to what?
To try him.
To do what?
To try him.
And this is talking about Hezekiah. The Most High, he was blessing Hezekiah, but the Most High, he left him. But why did he leave him? He left him to try him. It's probably because he ain't do nothing wrong. You don't necessarily got to do something wrong, but sometimes the Most High, he might throw certain stuff at you just to try you, just to see how you would react. Literally just to see what you would do. But the question is, what will you do? Keep going.
Now,
it says God left him to try him.
Right. God left him to try him. That he might know all that was in his heart.
That he might know what?
All that was in his heart.
And the Most High, he gonna try you to know where your heart really lies.
And he's gonna put you in a position where you might feel as if you have been left. You might feel that you might have been forsaken.
Yeah.
Right. But he has placed you in that position so you can search within yourself.
We got a couple more precepts. We're gonna be in. Get Sirach 2 and 14 again. Here we go. The next precept is going to be Sirach 33 and 1.
2 and 14. The book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience.
Woe unto you that lost patience, because your end is going to be destruction. Keep going.
And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you?
And we already have brought this up, but what will you do when the Most High visit you? In the previous precept in 2 Chronicles, it says the Most High, he left him just to try him, that he might know what was in his heart. So, and if the Most High was to bring something upon you and you lost patience, what exactly can you say to the Most High in that day? How can you plead your case?
There's nothing to plead, man.
There ain't nothing to plead. It says, what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? You can't do anything about it. because he put you through a trial and you failed it. Your heart really wasn't with him. Is that it on that?
Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you?
Get the book of Sirach, chapter 33 and verse 1. And that's all I got.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 1 from the top. And it reads thus. Watching for riches, consuming the flesh. All right. Watching for riches, consumeth the flesh.
No, Sirach 33 and 1.
Oh, I thought you said 30, 31.
Yeah, my bad.
33 and 1. Salakia. It's Sirach 33 and verse 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord. But in temptation, even again, he will deliver him. Right? The scriptures is another precept. I think it's 1 Corinthians 10 and 14. I think it says, let me grab that real quick.
And I got another precept.
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 10. Salakia, Akim. Right, 1 Corinthians 10. And I'm going to start at 11. Right, 1 Corinthians 10 and 11. It says, now all these things happen unto them for ensamples. Right, a lot of things that you go through is just for an example, to show you something.
Or your example might be somebody else's example.
Right. It's not just because it's big one. What does it say in Sirach 33 and 7? It says, you labor not for yourselves, but for those who lack wisdom. So a lot of things, these obstacles, these journeys, your walk, the truth in and of itself, it's not just for you. It's to be an example.
And sometimes it might feel like it's just happened to you. It might feel like it's not bigger than you. It might feel like it's on the just the surface level, because we all feel that way at certain times about certain things, but ultimately it's always for example.
Read it on. It says, and they are written for our admonishing, right, upon whom the end of the world are come. Here's the meat right here. Wherefore let him think it he standeth, take heed lest he fall. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able. Yes. But will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. It's going to be so many things that you only think this is the way. This is the way, but you got to have patience, man, and you got to understand that the Lord is called. He's giving you an out. Right.
But and that's like that precept. It's like, woe to you that lost patience. What will you do when the Most High shall visit you? It just said in this verse that you just read that He not gonna put something on you that you're not able to handle. So him knowing that you able to handle it, that's like you being weak and you being a quitter. That's exactly what it's been. Let me get finna get another precept. Romans chapter 12 and verse 12. Get that real quick. Romans chapter 12, and I'll start at 11. It says, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, and serving the Lord, but rejoicing in hope and patient in tribulation. Like many of the verses we've been bringing up, just be patient and continuing instant in prayer. And I got another precept. It's the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 25. Okay, you get it. Romans chapter 8 and verse 25. I start at verse 23. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves grown within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit the redemption of our body. And bro, you're not gonna like what you feeling. You're not gonna like the evil that might come upon you. Who does like the evil? Don't nobody like to feel depressed. Don't nobody like to feel stressed. Like, bro, don't nobody like these things. It says even we ourselves grown. Bro, you going grown. You best believe on. As long as anybody in this world, it's always going to be this. It's always going to be the same problems. It's just always a repeat. Verse 24, it says, for we are saved by hope. But Hope is seen. Hope that is seen, it is not hope. For what a man seeth, why do ye yet hope for it? What yet hope for it?
Right, if you see it, it's
There ain't nothing to hope for. But we hoping for the kingdom. We hoping for them chariots. We hoping for the Lord to come. And like even our people that's in Christianity or Catholics or whatever, they got a false hope, They got a false hope. But one reason why we've been able to make it this far is because hope. That's all that people got, is to cling on to something. We just have to hope for something. Whether it's a lie or not, we gonna do it. I'm gonna keep going. It says, but if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. And that's where faith come in too. Faith, hope, and patience. It literally just goes in a circle. Literally. I'm finna get a couple more precepts. Next precept, I'm gonna get Galatians 5:22. And this is talking about the fruit of the Spirit. I'll start at 18 and I jump. Galatians 5:18. But if ye be led of the Spirit, no, that's not what I want. Verse 22. It says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, and long suffering. You gotta be long suffering. We know what you're gonna suffer, because it says there's nothing that you suffer that's not common to man. So we all suffer the same thing, whether you don't suffer in this time, whether you suffer it in another time, Brad, you're gonna suffer it because it's common to man. But the Most High, He don't put anything on you not able to bear. So you have to be long suffering. This is the fruits of the Spirit. Got a few more. I think the last precept is going to be, matter of fact, one more precept. I got Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9.
So like even what the brew was just bringing out with the fruits of the Spirit, right?
Did y'all do a lesson on that?
No, we haven't done one.
You haven't?
No, we talked about it a little bit.
Okay.
Shalom, brother Ken. Shalom, Nakata scribe on the scene, right? But even what the brother was just talking about, like those are attributes from the fruit of the Spirit. You even have to have patience on obtaining those fruits, right? When these are seeds that the Lord plants individually, when you continue to grow through this thing, but He's the one who's going to get that increase. So you have to be patient on receiving the patience, if you will. You got to be a patient.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So keep going on that. So you got a couple more precepts.
I got one more. And it reads, it's Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. It says, and let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, and if we faint not.
Right. So you got to understand that, again, that's kind of still dealing with planting.
Mm-hmm.
And you dealing with the cultivation, dealing with the tilling of the ground, if you will. Right. Get what's that? Acts. Luke 9:62.
Luke 9:62.
Okay.
I was thinking about something.
But that's what when you think about like this walk, man, it takes patience to see these things come to harvest, right, and to yield its fruit in its season, right. You can't rush the process. You can't rush perfection, and that's what the Most High is requiring of us, to be perfect as our Father in heaven is perfect. But you got to have patience in this walk. Now, don't be too hard on yourself. Understand that the Most High God has given you ordinances and statutes to keep, but He has also given you grace and no license to sin. So with that, you have to weigh the balance and walk circumspect in this thing. Bring that out.
Luke 9:62. And it says, Yahushua said to him, no man having put his hand to the plow.
To the what?
To the plow.
Right. No man who is really going to come into this thing, who has set his heart aright, is really going to come put his hand to the plow and do what?
And looking back is fit for the kingdom of God.
If you looking back, right, you done lost patience. You done became a feeble. Man, this is too hard, man. This is for the birds, man. They got me out here. They is really outside today.
You got to be a bird.
Right. You got to understand that the Most Most High God, hey, you got to be willing to do this work, man. You got to look back in the days of old, like we brought out in the book of Sirach, the 2nd chapter in verse 10. Look how our forefathers and our foremothers did, and how the Most High God did not forsake them. Right, so we got.
Man, that's crazy that you did. I got these last precepts. These last precepts. I'm gonna read it. It says James 5:7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it. And that's like putting your head towards the plow, because
you're not gonna be fit for the kingdom.
You get it.
But read that again, though. That's this right here.
Yeah, it says
it's deep, right? The
husbandman.
Right, when you go into the book of John, the 15th chapter, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, who the world calls Christ, he'll tell you that he says, my father's the husbandman. Right? He says, hold on. Let's pull it real quick. John 15.
And it says we the bridegroom.
Right. He's the husbandman.
Yeah, he's the husbandman.
So even he's waiting patiently for us to yield our fruit. Yeah. So he can come back at the end and reap the harvest, right? And yes, we about to bring hold on. Watch this. This is John, the 15th chapter. This is Christ's words. What did he say? He said, I am the true vine. That's what Christ Mashiach said. I'm the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. He said, well, if it brings forth fruit, he's going to take that off the vine, and he's going to set it to the side, because you went through all the seasons, right? And you yielded the fruit. Right, you didn't have any blemishes on it.
It says the servant not greater than his master. So who are you to not suffer the things Christ went through?
Right. So understand, and receiving this is John the 15th chapter talking about the husbandman. Right. So now get that.
It says It says James 5:7. It says the husband waited for the precious fruit of the earth.
Who is that? That's us.
That's us.
Right. Read.
And it says have long patience for it until he receiveth the earth and latter rain.
Right. That's what the Most High, again, we keep talking about here, how he's holding back the four corners of the earth. Right. For us to yield our fruit. Right. Wheat from the tares. What is that? Matthew
it's not
13.
5. Yeah, it's not 5.
Matthew 13. Right. It says another parable.
13 and 24.
Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which soweth good seed in the field. Right? When you're a farmer, you just can't just throw the seeds out there and just kind of sit back and not do anything with it. You gotta water it. And you gotta tend to it.
He not gonna invest in some cheap seed. He gonna pay some money for that.
That's
for that seed.
Right. So it says the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which soweth good seeds in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up, what is this blade? Is that persecution, right? The famine in the land, right? We're about to wrap it up here, right? Because it'll tell you that in Ezekiel 33, when the sword come through the land and you warn not your brother, right? But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst thou not didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence hath thee it tares? And that's what's going to happen when you know that the Lord is calling you to do a work. And we was talking about, like, brothers going to start trying to wait till 11:59 to start getting right in this thing. But what was your patience? What was your faith in going through all of this? Because it says faith without works is dead. When you put something into work, you got to believe and you got to trust in the work. And then the process, you got to trust in the process.
And that goes in. You just said something. You was like, people going to wait till 11:59 to try to get right. It's like the parable with the brides and the oil or whatever. So they gonna trying to get some of that oil. They gonna get it. They gonna try to get it before it's too late. And with the Lord, he gonna close the door on you. And he gonna say, "What? I never knew you."
That boy Hezekiah said, "Close the door." Right. This is Matthew 25. Salakia, and verse 1 from the top. This is the parable that the brother was just bringing out. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish.
5 of them was a wise man. He gonna be patient. 5 of them were patient and long suffering. 5 of them was not. 5 of them was disciplined. 5 of them was not. Keep going.
Right, and it reads, and it says, verse 3. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil.
They took no oil.
But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made before, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And those foolish said unto the wise,
what they say?
Give us your oil.
They said what?
Give us your oil.
They basically saying all the hard work that you put in or whatever.
It's right there.
Let me have some of that hard work too. Keep going.
Right, but that's the thing. Like they put in the time, they put in the work, man. They stored up this oil, right, which is wisdom, and they knew that was going to allow them to stay mighty in this thing, and that's what we dealing with our people. So like you bear with us, Akim. Right, a couple more precepts, but that's what we have to do in these last days: is store up this wisdom, this knowledge, and understanding. Because these 5 that held on to that wisdom, these 5 that when people looked about them and like, man, look at them holding on to that oil. Right, that's patience. Right,
it's like, bro, we hold on to the oil, but it says what did the unwise do?
The oil,
they
right?
didn't take no oil. They didn't take these words. They didn't take the commandments. They didn't take the what was told to be done of them. And it says what? They slept and slumbered. And that's what a lot of us doing. We sleep.
That's right. That's right.
Is that it or not? You gonna read more?
We can yield right there.
Okay, Con. And I'm gonna finish this out in James chapter 5 and verse 8. It says, "Be ye also patient and establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord it draweth nigh." Verse 10, it says, "Take, my brethren, the prophets who have spoken in the name of the Lord for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience."
Right, that's another good code precept. James telling you, man, look at the prophets, man. They went through it. What says you?
Read about Isaiah. Read about Ezekiel. Read about all these countless different of prophets in the book, and read how they was patient. They would read about Daniel
unto death, man. A lot of them was patient.
What did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego?
Right.
Read about them. Read about them in the book of Daniel. I'm gonna get verse 11. I'm gonna close. It says, "Behold, we count them happy which endured, and ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy."
Because the Lord, it says it, Hebrews the 6th chapter, verse 10 on down, it'll tell you that the Most High God is not unfaithful to forget your works and your manner of love, which He showed to the saints, roughly paraphrased. So the Lord sees your work. He sees the time that you're putting in. Right? Don't turn back. Right? Don't remember Lot's wife.
Yeah, remembers Lot's wife.
Right? Don't turn back in this thing. You come too far. The Most High God is still waking up. He's sending the Spirit out amongst the 4 corners of the earth, and He's waking up brothers and sisters left and right, man. But you got to want this thing. The Most High God is not going to force you to be patient, but at the same time, you got to want it, man.
That precept is, I can do all things through Christ.
Right, Philippians.
A lot of people say that, but a lot of y'all don't believe it.
All right.
A lot of y'all don't believe it.
That's right.
So be that person that believe it, and that work by it. Faith without works is dead, bruh. Show your faith by your works. Be patient, endure the tribulation, and you're going to be rewarded.
That's right.
Big time for it.
Con, with that, no, I yield.
Close me up.
Con, man. With that, man, we're gonna wrap up today's class, man. All right, shout out to the saints that are scattered abroad, right? The so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, right? This is SUC coming to you with another live class, right? Wrapping up on believing and patience and believing in the Most High God, right? And with that, we're gonna yield. We bid y'all a mighty shalom. Shalom.
Shalom.